you and they say, you wanted to make us healthier, you wanted us to eat better, and you wanted us to exercise. You hussy telling us what to do.
I know.
Why is that so important to you?
Because food and diet and lifestyle is very personal, and I think people, it's hard to break habits that have been developed over a lifetime. And one of the reasons I took that issue on is because I saw very early on that we are dealing with an obesity epidemic in our children that will shorten their lives. And this is one of those, it's a fact. Our children are growing up less healthy than we are, which means that their life expectancy will be shorter than us. That is just a real thing. So I started with kids because my hope was that sometimes as parents we can do for our kids what we just can't find, in us to do for ourselves. And I know as a mother, when it comes to me trying to make sure that my kids have the best, I will kill somebody to make sure that my children have what they need. So starting with young people was a way to kind of ease into the conversation, but it's a challenge that we all face.
And look what you did with the lunch program. You said about the proper milk, which now the USDA has changed the rules. They can now drink flavored milk, chocolate and strawberry. It's okay to have refined grains. It's okay to change the sodium levels. All the things you implemented that pediatricians and nutritionists said was working. That's now been overturned.
Well, because food is a money industry. That's just the bottom line. This is really about money. There are people who are advertising right now who don't care about your kids' health if their profit margins are better. So here's what we have to do is that we have to own our health. I mean, it's one of these things that no one can take from you. No matter what your race, your socioeconomic background, your educational level, we all have the ability to own our health. But so many of us don't know how. We don't have the resources. We don't have grocery stores in our communities. We don't have access. Our kids aren't living in safe neighborhoods where they can play outside. So much in our lives have changed.
I've heard you say you almost became defiant about making sure.
Well, for me, with health, it was one of those things that a lot of mothers will understand this because I found myself looking around after I had my kids, and I didn't have time for me, but my husband was at the gym every day, and I was like, well, how are you going to the gym? And he was like, I make time for the gym. And this is right when we started going to counseling, y'all, so this was more issues. But I found myself getting mad at him because he was doing what he needed to do for him. And I think for us as women, many of us, we have a hard time putting ourselves on our own priority list, let alone at the top. And that's what happens when it comes to our health as women. We are so busy giving and doing for others that we almost feel guilty to take that time out for ourselves.
But we're sort of trained that way.
Yes, we are trained that way, and we have to have a different set of conversations to untrain us. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but if we don't start having conversations about this as women, because forget what anyone says, we still control what happens in the household. So if we don't have our act together as women, as mothers, as grandmothers, we still aren't going to be able to get our kids on track. So we have to start having some conversations, number one, about why is it so hard for us as women to put ourselves first. I mean, we're living in a world where we as women, we are so devalued. We have trained ourselves to think we don't deserve it, that we don't even deserve to take care of ourselves. So we have to kind of search our minds and our histories and our backgrounds to find out where that hurt comes from. We know we see it out there in the culture because we don't see ourselves. We see people imitating us, but not giving us credit for the beauty that we hold, But we also, Gail, we have to figure out what is going on in us in our own communities. What is this conversation we are having with ourselves, with our own daughters, and the fathers and the men out there, you all play an important role. Because let me tell you, my father and my brother had the greatest impact on my self-esteem because I grew up in a household with men who loved me and respected me very early on, who told me how beautiful I was, who treated me as an equal. So even at an early age, because I had a father and a brother and the men in my life who didn't hurt me, who took care of me, the bar for what I expected from myself was set by the men in my life. And too many of us as women, we're walking around hurt and covered in scars, and that affects how we take care of ourselves, and then what message we send to our kids.
You know, Michelle, I think about your dad. After I read the part about your dad and your dad's death and the relationship that you had, I actually had to put the book down because I was so deeply affected by it. Your dad died at the age of 55 and you're 55.
Yes.
My mom died 10 days before her 61st birthday. And before I turned 61, I kept thinking, I hope I make it, I hope I make it.
Yeah.
Do you think about your dad dying at the age you are now and how that has affected you, or if it has affected you? I was very struck by that.
You know, I think of my father every day. You know, I mean, my dad was a blue-collar worker who didn't want much in life. He poured everything he had into me and my brother. And, you know, not a day goes by that me and my brother don't think about the fact that he didn't live long enough to see who he raised.
Yeah.
And I think that that's another reason why. Now, my father had MS, and he had a disease that was degenerative, and it's probably one of the reasons why I don't take my health for granted. Because I saw, man, my father was an athlete. He boxed and he swam, and because of this disease, he died not being able to walk without the assistance of crutches. So I knew he was a man who valued movement, and it was taken from him. So at no point in my life do I take my health for granted. But when I think about how we have to think about what our loss, what our leaving this earth too early does to the ones, you know, who are counting on us to be there for them. You know, that's why health is so important to me, because we lose many people to things that they can't help. But when it happens because of stuff we have complete control over, the food we put in our bodies, how we move, you know, whether we go to the doctor on a regular basis, whether we're watching out for diabetes and asthma, whether we're doing things to prevent completely preventable illnesses, I start thinking about, my God, my father didn't get to meet those two beautiful girls. They didn't know the man that raised me. They didn't get a chance to really experience the values he gave to us, and I think what a loss. And I know right now in this audience, there are parents like mine out there, you know, whose kids need them healthy and whole, whose grandkids need them, and that's where we have to take charge of our health so that we're not gone too soon.
Your health and your wellness, and I'm curious, when it comes to health and wellness, how do you do this in an environment that seems so toxic, so hopeless? How do we maintain that and find our own North Star? How do we maintain health and wellness when all around us we see such toxicity and such negativity? How do we find the North Star within?
It's truly a one day at a time kind of proposition. You know, it's a hard question when they feel hopeless. But digging ourselves out of any kind of hole, anybody who's faced any kind of challenge in their lives, it's really a one day at a time kind of thing. And first we have to acknowledge what the problem is, what the hole is, what caused it. And which is, when it comes to health, it's one of the reasons why we have to kind of begin to talk to ourselves as a community and say to ourselves, first of all, do we acknowledge that there is a problem? Do we acknowledge that this is something that we need to work on?
I love that question. For all this backstage, and I was saying, if you had one question, what would it be? And of course, he just rattled that off. I thought, that's good, I'm not going to credit you, but it was so good, I had to give him credit for that. Let's talk about your daughters, when you're talking about your daughters didn't get to see their grandfather. Because I think in that tape, for a lot of people, that was the first time they heard Malia and Sasha speak.
Yeah.
You raised them to be so normal, so kind, such really generous spirits. And that doesn't happen, they don't get that way by themselves. What was your strategy going into the White House about how you were going to raise these two young girls?
You know, I credit my own upbringing. Me and Barack, we were regular folks up until he gave that speech at the convention, and it was like all of a sudden he was shot out of a rocket, and he had security. I was like, what? We were just on the south side of Chicago. But I credit my mother. Grandma, thank you. I love my mother. She was in the house with us, and anybody who's ever met Marion Robinson, she is not impressed with anything. She's still wondering why people show up and see me. She's like, well, why are these people here? And I'm like, Mom, I'm Michelle Obama. She's like, I don't get it.
Well, she gets it. One of the best interviews I got to do with Michelle Obama and Marion Robinson. When I asked Marion Robinson, what are you most proud of about your daughter? She said, I want to be Michelle Obama when I grow up. Can you imagine your mother saying that about you? That was such a lovely tribute. And your mother was instrumental in the house. She would take the kids to school every day.
But
we have workouts.
Our focus was to make sure they just did what they were supposed to do. And that meant that we had to pretend like all the craziness around them wasn't happening. You know, it's like, I always equate it to like when you have a toddler and they hit their head and they look up, they look to you whether they should cry or not, and their reaction is based on yours. Well, that's what we did for 8 years. It was like, yep, your dad's president. That doesn't have anything to do with you. Just take your little butt to school. Yes, you have security. Just ignore them. You know, they're not here for you. They don't really care. They're really here because if you get shot, it'll mess up the country or something like that. You know, you have to keep telling them this isn't about you. Your goal is to go to school, come back, get some decent grades, and don't act up. Don't embarrass us, you know.